Just a follow-up on some of the answers from the last question. What might your position be on land-based wind power generation? We seem to have a wee bit of a conflict between some folks that believe that the wind or noise or visual pollution is not worth investment in this form of renewable power generation. And secondly, if we expand our wind generation, we're going to need to develop new transmission lines to bring this power to the grid. What's your position in the difficult proposition of eminent domain to build this new CMP power generation system or transmission system?
I think I'm first. Okay, thank you for the question. I think this is exactly, to me, the challenges and the conflict we've had across the state around land-based wind is exactly why we need to do not just land-based wind to solve our energy issues. That's why I've supported offshore wind, that's why I've supported the tidal power, and why solar power is such a huge opportunity for us in the state. We've got to do some of all of it. But the issues you're talking about around eminent domain and around local input into those issues, I think are where we've had the most challenges as a state. That's where we've seen the most bills come to the legislature to try to change the policy and the process. And with the people I've talked to in my state Senate district and people I've talked to across the state, they are generally not opposed to wind. They're not opposed to alternative energy coming into our state. It's a matter of, do I get a say in it, and is there a benefit in my backyard? And I think that's where we need to take better action, is that we can't just allow the renewable energy that's generated in Maine to be traded to some other state and taken away to have that benefit. I think the question of eminent domain is at the heart of local control in the state of Maine, and I think it's problematic, and we can't just have an assumption that, sure, we can just take all of that. I think that's wrong. And there's got to be a better way to have more input in the time frame for those kinds of decisions, and particularly strengthening the local voice. Because when I've talked to people, again, they're not opposed to renewable energy. They just want to have a say in how it impacts their backyard. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, obviously, I served on the Utilities Energy Committee with Senator Cleveland under his tutelage. He actually should probably be up here answering this question. But I'm a big believer in wind and solar, renewable energy, biomass. I think they provide great benefits. They're one of the emerging sectors in the state where we really could be a national leader if we're not already getting there to this point. And I think that the technology in these industries is getting better and better all the time, where you have towers that can be not as high, not as visible. They don't have to be always on mountaintops with the type of technology we have now. And this issue, along with another ones, is probably why Governor LePage basically hates me as bad as he does, because I've been one of the people that's pushed back consistently on this issue with him. I think this is something that's very good for Maine. In my area of the state, we don't have a transmission line. We're not connected onto the grid. Our power goes into Canada, and people that have extra energy in Lewiston County have to pay wheeling costs to get it through back onto the grid. So I mean, it really is a big issue for people in Lewiston County to have transmission lines. And it's a deterrent right now for more businesses coming in the state. We need to lower our energy costs. This is definitely a part of it, and provides great jobs while it's being built. And so the whole thing seems to work very well for me. And I don't believe in eminent domain, because unfortunately what that will probably happen is, or mean, was that people that aren't able to argue as effectively or have as much money, they'll be the ones that will be going out and getting their stuff taken away from. I think that a lot of people are willing to have these projects if they're paid adequately, and we don't have to do it through eminent domain.